How's everybody doing? Y'all are kind of like our players. Y'all don't talk much. You ask a question, they kind of look at you. So, but you know, today we worked a lot of special team situations, and it's one thing that we've really tried to concentrate on. Some of the things that we're doing is we done a lot of drill work all spring, and we just now started doing some team stuff, just trying to learn some fundamentals and getting exactly what we want to get done. So doing the team settings, it was new for some of the guys, and we've got to continue to do that and work on it in the next few weeks. A couple of situations we worked today, I thought our offense performed a little better than they did on Tuesday. Defense, still, both sides of the ball, inconsistent. You got to be consistent, got to put it all together. So we've got to continue to work on that. Hoping to see that some Saturday at the scrimmage. See how some of these guys respond. We corrected a lot of things from last Saturday, and hopefully we'll see some improvement.
Bob and Mike.
Coach, just 2 days of practice, what are a couple of realistic things you think your guys can show improvement on from last Saturday to this one?
Well, ball security, huddle organization on offense, making sure that we get the correct splits at wide receiver. We got the right alignments at tight end. The running backs are protecting the right guy. We're IDing the right Mike, or where we throwing the football, we working the right side. There's a lot of little things that have nothing to do with ability, just details and execution. Defensive side, we got to tackle. We got to strike blockers up front. Got to be consistent. Got to learn to strain. It's easy to do it when things are going well. You got to do it when things aren't going well. It's not always going to go your way, so you got to find some way to kind of turn it around. So again, that's being in adverse situations, and we got to figure out if some of our guys are going to do a better job responding Saturday.
Coach, you mentioned special teams work. Is it too early to throw some names out there that are returning kicks? I mean, obviously it was Marquis got here and having very little out of Calvin a little bit last year. Are there some players you're looking at there that are auditioning for those guys?
That's one thing about it in the return game. Lots of times we get all caught up in the scheme, but to me, over the years, the returners kind of make the return, if that makes sense. So you get a guy that's dynamic back there that sometimes you ain't got to hardly block anybody; they just go. But we're still searching through it, trying to get an idea. There is some guys that have experience from doing it before, but we're really early in it. We're repping a lot of guys in specialty, so we'll see. It's a little easier to tell out there when we scrimmage, so we'll see a little more on Saturday.
Blake and David. Kirkland being out there today. Are him and Matuli just doing individual stuff, or were either of them able to do any team stuff at this point?
No, I mean they're Daniel's starting to advance. And he participated today, so he practiced today. So, I said we've got a lot of guys are getting close, and if we practiced another week, we'd almost have everybody back. So he's one of the guys that's out there. Darren took the next step, and he'll probably be back next week. So it'll be positive to get these guys some reps as we move forward.
Do you expect either of those guys to play in the spring game or no?
Probably too early to tell. I would have to see, where we're at probably by next Tuesday to get an idea. So we'll see, but it'll be close, which is a good thing. Those guys are kind of anxious to get out there.
David.
Jeremy, what's your philosophy on team captains? At some point, will you select permanent captains, or are you a week-by-week rotating captain kind of guy?
Well, everywhere I've ever been, and when I was growing up, the teams that I played on, the captains were selected by their teammates, at the end of the year, which I think that's a huge honor for guys that get selected by their teammates. Says a lot about them. So I'm sure we'll probably have captains by the week, based off who we think are good leaders and gives us the best chance to have success. And toward the end of the year, when the season's over with, we'll let the team vote on it.
Brent, Steve, Patrick.
Coach, you talked a lot about body language. Obviously, you didn't like what you saw on Saturday. How do you coach? How do you coach improvement in that area?
Well, I think you gotta hold them accountable. You know, I mean, it's interesting. You got some guys when they make a good play, you know, their old chest swells up and they kind of get that walk about them. But the same guy 2 plays later, whether he misses a tackle, throws an interception, drops a ball, misses a block, you look out there and he's got his heads down. You know, so I mean, either you're the guy with your chest swollen up all the time, or you're the other way. So, you know, you got to learn to fight through it. It's not always going to go perfect. So you got to just you got to play the next play. You know, you're not going to play. The best players are not perfect. You know, they're going to make mistakes. They all have. Everybody does. So you got to learn to play the next play.
Is that just from experience? I mean, or you just try to put them in adverse situations?
Well, I think
learn past that?
you know, I think you got to address them. You know, you got to address them when it happens. You got to tell them. You know, hey, and that's what we try to do.
Steve and Patrick.
Just, you didn't have any update the other day on Locklear and Brooks. I didn't know if there was any update now.
Not yet.
Jeremy, looked like Prince Bank was back at running back today. Was that just one deal, or kind of what was he was back at offense?
Well, we saw enough with him at linebacker to know that he could do it if we had an emergency situation. And these other guys coming back and being able to take more reps, I wanted to make sure we had our best players on the field to compete against each other. Saw enough out of Princeton to know that if we got in a situation where we needed an emergency, we could train him to play that position. But I feel like he would have more success on offense, so we moved him back.
You guys like what you see from him at running backs in the
You know, he's learning the position. You know, he played wide receiver, I think, in high school. He was recruited here to play tight end. You know, we originally moved him to running back because lack of numbers for the position, and just watching in winter conditioning. He's got some athletic ability about him. And I like the fact that he weighs 225 pounds. You know, I like big backs. I know from a defensive side, you know, those big backs over the course of time, you know, they fall forward a bunch of times and they can handle a lot more licks. So he's doing fine over there.
Austin.
Jeremy, talk to me about just that running back thing. What have you liked out of Ty Chandler through the first 3 weeks of spring? What's he brought to the table in your mind?
You know, all those guys, you kind of put them out there and they're all got good hands. You know, they have pretty good vision, got good enough speed. So I think it's too early to kind of single any of them out. You know, you can take Ty, you can take Tim, you can take Trey, you can take Princeton. You put them all in that one group, and you know, they have good days and they have bad days. You know, so we got to find a little more consistency in all of them.
Any more questions? Mike?
Do you use a fullback or a tight end or an H-back or one pro style? How's that going to look? Has that been the plan?
Well, I think we got to figure out what our best personnel is. And then once we figure out what our best personnel is, then that's what we need to put on the field. So, I mean, we're trying to figure out, do we have any tight ends? I'm talking about tight ends that can block, not line out there and run pass patterns. So, you know, if we're going to run pass patterns, I'd rather put wide receivers out there. You know, do we have, how many wide receivers do we have that are hard to guard? You know, I mean, I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of fullbacks on our team, so we're, you know, we still just got to figure out personnel and figure out who we're going to be.
Wes?
Jeremy, what have you seen so far from Kyle Phillips? He's a guy who kind of came to Tennessee with a good bit of hype and had some struggles staying healthy, moved around a little bit. What have you seen from him so far?
I think he's been willing to do whatever we ask him to do, you know. Makes very good grades. Every week on the academic report, I see all A's. So he's a very good student, good kid, very willing to do whatever we've asked him to do since we've been here.
Austin?
You said Tuesday you'd be able to tell just by watching online tape if he could play the position 2 days in, what you saw at corner.
You know, it's again, I think Alante could play a lot of positions. You know, he was a high school quarterback. He returned kicks. So he's not going to play quarterback here. So every position's new. He's going to be learning all of them. I think he has a little more experience playing wide receiver because he did do some of that in high school. But he also played defensive back. You know, I think he's got a lot of ability. You know, it's probably not fair to him because the kid met one day and we put him out there, you know, put him with the ones so we can see him guard the best guys so we can figure out whether he can or can't, you know. So, and he really don't know what to do. And that's not his fault. So he does have, he's got really good ability. So I think we're going to do it one more day and let him scrimmage, you know, with the defense and kind of go from there. So it's, again, it's one of these deals to build depth down the road. I mean, he said it today to me. He goes, I think if I do this for a few more days, Coach, I'll have it down. And if y'all need me during the fall, I can come help. You know, you look back over over the years, there's been some teams that when they have injuries or, you know, it's late in the game. I mean, even for us, you get a jump ball situation, you want the best guy. Who's got the best ball skills? You want to throw the ball up in the end zone. You know, do you want a 5'8" defensive back there jumping, or do you want the guy who can go up and get the ball? You know what I'm saying? So it's good for him to learn, and I think probably he's the best wide receiver to learn how to play defensive back. So we're going to decide after the scrimmage and see if he needs to move back right now or wait till this summer.
Last question, Austin Bornheim.
Jeremy, when you go to the second scrimmage, is criteria what you look for different than what you look for in the first scrimmage, or is it just kind of building off that? Or
Is the what?
like the criteria, the things you're looking for the players in the scrimmage is different the second scrimmage than maybe the first scrimmage? Or?
No, we're playing football, looking for the offense to take it and the score, and the defense to keep them from doing it.